All right, so welcome to today's podcast. My name is Scott Engler. I am a published author and career coach, helping people with their professional branding, networking strategies, really pursuing the job, career, business that they love and helping them thrive doing it. So one of the things that I have developed in my coaching practice over the years is a strengths-based approach. And I call it's a 80-20 modality, 80-20 strengths-focused coaching. Now, when people ask me, okay, what does that mean? I start to talk about what are our innate talents, how do we identify those, how do we use those in a way that aligns with what we love doing, and how do we also see how what we love doing and what we're already great at translates to a service or something that contributes to others and what they need and what they want. So one of the things that I find fascinating, this is based off an article I actually wrote for Thrive Global, which is Arianna Huffington's newer company, is this why many of our best skills and talents may go unnoticed even by ourselves. So what I start off the article talking about is an example of, if you've ever known, and I'm sure all of us have this experience, if you've ever just noticed someone that you work with, or maybe a spouse or friend, sibling, anyone that is just really naturally gifted at something, and it's just like glaringly obvious, right? And maybe you've, them on a level, or just for whatever reason you ask them to teach you because you're like, wow, they're so amazingly good at this. Can you teach me how to be as good at it as you are? And when, to your disappointment, you find that when you ask them to teach you, they're stumbling over their words. They can't really express how they do it. It's like someone asking like a brilliant chef or an artist, hey, could you show me step by step how you made this, this painting? Or could you show me step by step how you created this, 7-course meal and what you did specifically to make it this delicious? A lot of times they're going to look at you blankly, or just, even if they try, they're going to do a poor job of explaining it to you, and then you might even be frustrated. I know sometimes I would even think people just didn't want me to know, so they're pretending to not really give me the answers. So here's the thing. More likely than not, they are trying to teach it to you, but they just don't know how, because it's such a natural skill and talent that it comes to them like second nature. It's the same reason why someone like Michael Jordan isn't necessarily the best basketball coach, right? Because he's unbelievably talented at his craft, but a lot of the things that he does are natural, and that's not to say that he doesn't practice, but there's this part of us that have these abilities that come to us, and it's harder to express or explain. And what I go into in this article is that many of us, most of us in fact, have these skills and talents that aren't as glaringly obvious to the public, right? So most of us probably aren't like a professional athlete or professional singer, or maybe the fastest running back in the country or whatever. So it's not as obvious to other people what that skill or talent is. And the challenge with that is that if we don't get the people really identifying it for us, or more importantly, if we're not able to really identify it ourselves, then how are we even going to know that it's a skill and talent that is valuable that other people don't have? And the very interesting factor about this, and what the title of this article suggests, is that how it could go unnoticed even by ourselves, is that for most of us, the things that we may be really great at and are huge assets, talents, valuable things, are things that come easily to us, and therefore we don't even think it's a talent. And so I could give you an example for me, right? I have one of the primary specializations I use for my coaching is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is actually a professional networking site. So what I've found over the years is that people are always interested to ask me about networking strategy. Scott, how do I reach out to this person? What do I say to this person? And it wasn't until, it actually took a while, and believe me, like someone that has identified his own strengths, taken many different strengths assessments on different platforms or books, teaches other people to do it, pays close attention to what people seem to gravitate to me towards. It still took years to realize that I had a gift of networking, that I had a gift of connecting with other people, and this was something that I am sought after for a lot. And the reason why I didn't think it was a skill or a talent was because it just came naturally to me. I didn't think about it in those terms. I just thought about it was me being me. And I didn't realize that that's something that's very challenging for a lot of people. And therefore they want to hear the way I go about it, or me to teach them certain techniques or what to say and how to say it. And so it took a while is what I'm trying to say. And that's even with me coaching this stuff, talking about it. This was something that still went unnoticed by me for a long, long time. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I can almost guarantee you that anybody that's listening to this does have skills and talents that are going unnoticed, or we're not in a culture, society. Most of us aren't privileged enough to work for a company or be in an environment where people are really like, hey, this is a major skill and talent of yours that it could be lucrative and help people at the same time. You should really, harness this, really practice it, more like, leverage this. So most of us aren't in that situation. And even if we do have people around us that are encouraging, a lot of things just take time to go noticed. And the truth is, with networking strategy, that is something that is a major component of the work I do with people, and it's something that I get paid for. And so I've come to embrace it and to accept that this is a gift and a talent, and that I could share it with other people, right? But it wasn't for a while that I was able to actually identify it. So what are the ways that you can begin to identify and practice and really cultivate some of your best skills and talents in a way that'll help you be more successful in your career and business? Well, the first step is definitely to start taking inventory of the ones that you're already well aware of. Most of us, even though a lot of us think it's like a bragging thing, it's really not. Most of us are aware of some of our better skills and talents, but we're not aware of all of them. So start writing down the ones that you know you have. I like to, when I work with clients, I have them come up with professional and personal examples of some of their gifts and talents and what the results were of sharing those in both a personal and professional setting. The next one is, if you happen to be around people that you respect in your profession, or family and friends that you know will shoot you straight and always have good insight, ask them. Say, hey, I'm really working on how to integrate my strengths and talents into my career, my business. What do you think are some things that I do really well naturally? Or what are a few things that you think that you've noticed about me that I do well, and how maybe I could even improve upon it more? And that's a great place to start, because assuming you're asking people that care about you, want the best for you, are observant, have good advice, that's the kind of people you want to reach out to. Offer to do it for them as well, of course, and see what comes up and see if you're seeing any patterns. I noticed that for me, one of my gifts, I've been told a lot, is encouraging others. And I noticed that as I encourage other people, that I'll start to see, I will start to see a pattern of people saying compliments to me. Like, Scott, you're so encouraging. You're a great encourager. You're very inspiring. You are a great teacher. Certain things, and I'll keep hearing it, and it's up to us to really be truly appreciative to have that gift and accept that compliment, but B, pay attention. A lot of times it's easy for us to say like, oh, okay, whatever, yeah, great, thanks, and just kind of like go back to our regular things. But rarely do we really stop and say like, wow, okay, I'm getting this message a lot right now, and so what does this mean? How could I use whatever feedback I'm getting from the people that are close to me and that want me to succeed? How could I use this to help other people, to grow my business, to advance in my career? And I found that is a wonderful gift when I'm hearing the same things very frequently, and how I could even multiply or expand that gift to share with others and to help myself and other people prosper. So that's really another great place to go after that. The third thing is something that I really like to do is start asking questions. I like to, regardless of what your beliefs, I find if I out loud write or ask, what are some ways, and I share about this in the article, that I could share my talents and gifts with the world today? How could I use my own experiences, talents, gifts to share to enhance the lives of others? I started saying that in the morning, and what was really interesting was that a lot of the things that I had noticed would come up over and over again weren't things that I really even thought were like I'd identify as like skills or talents. Like for one of them was like being funny. I noticed that I'd get that feedback, or I just noticed I'd be in a lot of situations where like I was able to like really brighten someone's day by making them laugh. And this was just all natural, and it was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm seeing this pattern. And that was not something that I really thought was a gift or a talent ever before. And there was definitely other things as well. But notice, that was really helpful for me. Notice things that come up. The other thing was I noticed that I could really help business owners strategize how to make their business more successful. And it wasn't like something, these weren't things like I didn't think consciously I'm going to go do this. It was just like it would come up in the moment. It was like I would know. It was even easier for me to notice how easily it came to me. Like I wouldn't even be trying. For example, I was getting a massage, and like I'm like really relaxed, and like all of a sudden this guy like opened up his own business, and I just start like spewing out like 4 different things this guy could do to start generating more money with his business. And he's like, whoa, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, that's okay. And like I wasn't, honestly, it was just like flowing off my mouth. Wasn't even really trying, had no intention of doing that when I walked in. I was there to receive a service, right? And so it just goes to show you that a lot of these things really do come naturally to us. And it's up to us to not only embrace it and be grateful for these gifts, but to share them with other people so that their lives could be better. And what happens when I do this is I feel amazing because I'm sharing things. I feel good about it. And it's like if I was trying to be a car mechanic all day, I'd feel horrible about myself because that's just not something that comes good to me. So it feels good to share what we're naturally skilled and talented at with other people on both ends. So don't let those things lie dormant. And if I had one thing that you could take away, it's like spend the rest of your life figuring out what your best skills and talents are and how you could share them with others. That's all I got today. Thanks so much.